Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. What would drive a group of men to try to blow up the English Parliament? In the flickering candlelight of a cold November night, whispers echo beneath the Palace of Westminster. A man, cloaked, tense and surrounded by barrels of gunpowder, is caught in the shadows. His name, Guy Fawkes. His mission, to bring down the entire English government in one fiery instant. This is the story of the Gunpowder Plot of 1605, a failed assassination, attempt that aimed to kill King James III and restore Catholic rule in England. Though the plan collapsed in spectacular fashion, its legacy endures, in bonfires, masks, and centuries of political symbolism. In this video, we uncover the conspiracies, motivations, betrayals, and aftermath of one of the most dramatic events in British history. To understand the Gunpowder Plot, we must first step into early 17th century England, a nation simmering with religious tension. Following the English Reformation, Catholics had become a persecuted minority under the Protestant rule of Queen Elizabeth III. Despite practicing their faith in secret, they faced heavy fines, social exclusion, and even imprisonment or execution for attending Mass or harboring priests. When Elizabeth died in 1603, many English Catholics held their breath, hoping for change. Her successor, King James I, the Protestant son of Mary, Queen of Scots, a Catholic martyr to many, seemed to offer a glimmer of hope. Some believed he might ease restrictions and allow religious tolerance, but those hopes were quickly dashed. James upheld and even strengthened anti-Catholic laws. Recusants, those who refused to attend Anglican services, were fined and publicly shamed. Catholic priests were outlawed, and suspicion turned into outright oppression. In this charged atmosphere, a small group of Catholic dissidents grew convinced that peaceful change was impossible. If Parliament and the King would not listen, they would be silenced in a single, explosive moment. At the heart of the Gunpowder Plot was Robert Catesby, a well-born English Catholic who had grown disillusioned after years of persecution and broken promises. Intelligent, persuasive, and charismatic, Catesby became convinced that only violent action could restore Catholicism in England. His goal? Nothing less than the destruction of the Protestant government. To carry out his bold plan, he assembled a group of trusted allies. Among them was the now infamous Guy Fawkes, a seasoned soldier who had fought for Catholic Spain in the Netherlands. Fawkes wasn't the leader, but he was vital, an explosives expert, skilled in handling gunpowder and ideal for the job. Their plot was chilling in its simplicity. Blow up the House of Lords during the state opening of Parliament, on November 5, 1605. With the king, his ministers, judges, and much of the aristocracy in attendance, a single explosion could decapitate England's leadership in one devastating moment. Visualize the scene. A dark cellar beneath Parliament, lined with 36 barrels of gunpowder, enough to level the building. The men smuggled the barrels in over weeks, hiding them behind stacks of firewood. Fawkes would be the one to light the fuse and escape across the Thames, while the others planned to spark a Catholic uprising in the chaos that followed. The Gunpowder Plot might have succeeded, if not for a single mysterious warning. In late October 1605, Lord Monteagle, a Catholic noble loyal to the crown, received an anonymous letter urging him to avoid Parliament on the 5th of November. The message was vague but chilling. They shall receive a terrible blow, yet shall not see who hurts them. Monteagle immediately took the letter to authorities. Suspicious yet unsure of its credibility, the King's Council ordered a search of the Parliament buildings just before the scheduled state opening. In the early hours of November 5th, during a second, more thorough sweep, guards entered a dark cellar beneath the House of Lords. There, they found a man standing among stacks of firewood and hidden behind them 36 barrels of gunpowder. The man gave his name as John Johnson, but under pressure he soon revealed his true identity, Guy Fawkes. Fawkes was arrested on the spot. His calm and defiance stunned interrogators. One official described him as a dangerous man, but resolute. Even under torture in the Tower of London, he initially refused to name his co-conspirators. But the plot had unraveled. With Fawkes in chains, the hunt for the rest of the conspirators began, and England braced for the fallout. After his arrest, Guy Fawkes was taken to the Tower of London, where he faced relentless interrogation and ultimately torture. King James I himself authorized the use of the rack, the most brutal method available to extract a full confession. At first, Fawkes resisted, but over the course of several days the pain broke him. His once bold signature, firm and clear, deteriorated into a feeble scrawl, still preserved today. A haunting record of human endurance undone by agony. Meanwhile, the other conspirators were being hunted down. Robert Catesby and several others fled north, seeking refuge and support. But they were cornered at Holbeck House in Staffordshire. A fierce shootout followed. Catesby and 4 others were killed in the standoff, refusing to surrender. Those who survived faced a public reckoning. In January 1606, Guy Fawkes and 7 surviving plotters were tried and convicted of high treason. The punishment was as gruesome as the crime. They were hanged, drawn, and quartered, a spectacle meant to terrify and deter. Crowds gathered to witness the executions. Bodies were dismembered, their remains displayed on pikes throughout the city, as a warning to any who might dream of rebellion. Through primary sources, trial records, eyewitness accounts, and stark artistic depictions, we see not just the brutal end of the Gunpowder Plot, but the fear it ignited in a nation already on edge. The failed Gunpowder Plot sent shockwaves through England, and its aftermath was swift and severe. In the days and weeks following the arrests, anti-Catholic sentiment surged. Parliament passed even stricter laws against Catholics. They were barred from voting, holding public office, serving in the military, or practicing law. Catholic priests were hunted down, and attending Mass became even more dangerous. In 1606, Parliament passed the Observance of 5th November Act, mandating an annual day of thanksgiving for the King's deliverance. Churches across England held special services, bells rang out, and communities lit bonfires in celebration. Over time, this tradition evolved into what we now know as Guy Fawkes Night, or Bonfire Night. Effigies of Fawkes and sometimes unpopular public figures were burned atop roaring fires. Children paraded with guys made of old clothes and straw, asking for a penny for the guy. The night became filled with fireworks, symbolizing the explosion that never was. The plot's legacy extended beyond the bonfires. It left a deep cultural scar, shaping English attitudes toward Catholics for generations and embedding itself into the national identity. Even centuries later, the image of Guy Fawkes lives on, in children's rhymes, political protests, and even pop culture masks symbolizing rebellion. The embers of the Gunpowder Plot still glow in the collective memory, reminding us of a time when one explosion could have changed everything. Though centuries have passed since the Gunpowder Plot, Guy Fawkes's face lives on, not as a historical villain, but as a symbol of rebellion. The turning point came with the 1980s graphic novel V for Vendetta, later adapted into a 2005 film. In this dystopian story, a masked vigilante named V fights against a totalitarian regime while wearing a stylized Guy Fawkes mask. The imagery was powerful. A man once vilified for treason, now portrayed as a freedom fighter. The mask struck a chord with modern audiences, and it wasn't long before it was adopted by real-world protest movements. Most notably, the hacktivist group Anonymous embraced it as their unofficial emblem. Protesters around the world, from the Occupy Wall Street movement to demonstrations in Hong Kong and beyond, have donned the mask to represent resistance against corruption, authoritarianism, and injustice. This evolution has sparked debate. Was Guy Fawkes a traitor or a martyr? A terrorist or a revolutionary? Today, the Guy Fawkes mask stands at the crossroads of history and symbolism, a reminder that one man's villain may be another's hero, and that the lines between rebellion and treason are often drawn by those in power. The Gunpowder Plot of 1605 was more than just a failed assassination attempt. It reshaped English policy, deepened religious divides, and left a cultural legacy that still burns bright every November 5th. From harsh anti-Catholic laws to the annual bonfires and fireworks, its impact has echoed through centuries. But perhaps most fascinating is how Guy Fawkes himself transformed, from a condemned conspirator to a modern icon of defiance. His story challenges us to rethink how history remembers its rebels. Was Guy Fawkes a hero or a terrorist? Was he fighting for freedom or trying to destroy? Let us know what you think in the comments. If you enjoyed this dive into history, check out our related videos on the English Civil War, where Parliament and monarchy clashed violently. Religious conflict in Tudor England, uncover the roots of England's Catholic-Protestant divide. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and ring the bell so you never miss a deep dive into the past.